A bloke in Australia this morning walked into a Toyota dealership, handed over $45,990 for a brand new RAV4, and drove home in the most popular family car in the country. Nobody told him his car has no independent safety rating at all. Not a low one, none. And the upgrade that would earn it 5 stars cannot ever be fitted to his car. 4 streets away, a bloke in an 8-year-old Corolla has no rating either. His expired quietly at the end of 2024 while he was asleep. One of those cars is worth $45,000. The other is worth $8,000. Neither of them has a valid safety score, and a driver in the worst-rated car on Australian roads is over 8 times more likely to be killed or seriously injured in the same crash than a driver in the safest. 6 Australian cars that have quietly lost their safety rating, and the one thing every owner needs to check tonight. Number 1 is the best-selling passenger car in this country. It is sitting in about 1 million driveways, and there is a very good chance it is parked outside your house right now. Car safety ratings work in a way almost nobody knows. When you see 5 stars on a car, that score is not permanent. ANCAP ratings are valid for 6 years, and then they expire. The car does not change, the bar changes. Cars sold in Australia went from 5 stars to unrated overnight on the 1st of January this year because they were last tested under the 2019 rules. Same car, same steel, same airbags. No stars. And in 2026, ANCAP moved to a completely new system called the stages of safety. Cars now lose points if the indicators, the horn, or the wipers are buried in a touchscreen instead of on a stalk. So the safety bar did not just move, it moved sideways as well. The one line this whole video rests on is simple. Your car did not get less safe. The rest of the world got safer around it, and nobody sent you a letter. Number 6. The Jeep Wrangler and the Jeep Gladiator. The Jeep Wrangler and the Jeep Gladiator are different from everything above them because these two did not expire from 5 stars. They expired from 3 stars. On a vehicle you might well take camping with your kids in the back. And if you own either one, both ratings expired on the 1st of January. Jeep is not due to replace either vehicle until 2028, which means you can walk into a dealership and buy a brand new Wrangler or Gladiator carrying no current independent safety score at all. If you are looking at a used Wrangler, the 3-star result is public and it is on the ANCAP website. Go and read the actual test report, not the headline, because on a 3-star vehicle, those individual scores tell you far more than the stars do. Number 5. The Hyundai Venue. The Hyundai Venue is the small SUV a lot of Australians buy as a first car for somebody they love, and it is on this list at 4 stars. 4, not 5. And that rating has now expired along with the rest. 4 stars is the part worth sitting with because of who tends to drive one. A Venue is what you buy for a new driver, a P-plater, or when you are downsizing out of something bigger. Those are 2 groups where crash protection matters most, and both of them are the least likely to go and read a test report before buying. Hyundai has a new Venue launching this year, tested under the new rules, so this is a transition rather than a brand walking away. But if you are shopping for a small SUV for a teenager in the next few months, the outgoing car carries an expired 4-star result and the incoming one does not. Ask the salesperson which Venue is on the lot. They will know. They may not volunteer it. Your insurance is the other half of this. There are Australian insurers with published safety commitments who will not write a policy on a car officially rated 1, 2, or 3 stars. Expired is not the same as 1 star, but on a car with no current score, expect the conversation to be harder than it was 5 years ago. Number 4. The Mazda 3 and the Mazda CX-30. The Mazda 3 and the Mazda CX-30 both lost their ratings on the 1st of January, and together they represent an enormous number of Australian cars. Your Mazda 3 has been one of the best-selling small cars in this country for 2 decades, and the CX-30 is its SUV twin on the same underpinnings. Both were rated 5 stars under the 2019 protocols. Both of those ratings have now run out. Both models also have new versions arriving in 2026, which tells you Mazda saw this coming. The expiry pushes the manufacturer to bring something newer and safer, and Mazda is doing exactly that. The showroom gap is the problem. There is a period, right now, where the car you are shown carries the old rating and the new one has not landed yet. If you are cross-shopping a Mazda 3 against something with a current 5-star score from 2024 or 2025, those two window stickers are not comparing like with like, even though they both say 5. Now, if you have ever owned any car I have named so far, do me a favor and type the number 1 in the comments. Just the number 1. I read every single one of them, and I want to see how many of us are out here. And if you have not subscribed yet, please do. It is free, it takes a second, and it is the only reason this channel can keep pulling videos like this together. Right, back to the cars. Number 3, the Toyota Corolla. The Toyota Corolla is where this stops being about new car buyers and starts being about your driveway. The Corolla currently on sale is tested to 2018 or earlier. Its rating expired at the end of 2024, and it has been on sale here without a valid ANCAP score for more than a year. The Corolla is where the used car point really bites for you. A 2018 Corolla and a 2024 Corolla can both wear a 5-star badge on a used listing, and both are technically true. But they came from different eras of testing, and that gap is exactly why ANCAP built the expiry system. So on a used lot, standing between two Corollas where one is $3,000 cheaper, the stars on both listings look identical. The year tested will not. Ignore the star count until you have checked both, because that is 30 seconds of your time, and it is the single most useful thing in this entire video. That leaves the top 2, and they are both Toyotas. Number 2, the Toyota HiLux, 8th generation. The Toyota HiLux is the vehicle that built modern Australia, and the 8th generation HiLux lost its ANCAP rating on the 1st of January. The HiLux scale is enormous. Yours, or your neighbour's, is part of it. The HiLux has spent years as either the best-selling or the second best-selling vehicle in the entire country. There are hundreds of thousands of 8th generation HiLuxes on Australian roads right now, on farms, on sites, on the highway with a boat behind them. Every single HiLux on that list is now driving on an expired safety rating. Toyota has done the right thing on the HiLux, and it needs saying clearly. The 9th generation HiLux has already been tested under the new rules, and it scored 5 stars. That is a current, valid, 2025 result on the new car. The system worked exactly as intended. None of that helps the ute already in your driveway, and it does nothing for the enormous number of 8th generation HiLuxes about to flood the used market as owners upgrade. Over the next 2 years, a lot of Australians will buy a used 8th gen HiLux, see a 5-star badge on the listing, and have no idea that score is no longer current. The HiLux catches the most people, simply because there are more of them. Number 1. The Toyota RAV4. The Toyota RAV4 is the most popular passenger car in Australia, and it has managed something no other car on this list has managed. It lost its rating twice. Part 1. The old RAV4, the 1 in a million driveways, was tested in 2019 and rated 5 stars. That rating expired on the 1st of January this year, along with everything else on this list. Straightforward. Part 2 of the RAV4 story is genuinely difficult to believe. The brand new 6th generation RAV4 launched in Australian showrooms this year with no ANCAP rating at all. Not an expired one. None. Australia's best-selling SUV, from the brand you probably trust more than any other, went on sale unrated. The RAV4's problem is almost entirely bad luck. The new car was engineered to meet the 2025 ANCAP standards, and it was meant to launch here at the end of last year. It would have scored 5 stars, but production was delayed over quality issues. The launch slipped into 2026, and on the 1st of January, the new stages of safety protocols came in. The car that would have been among the safest vehicles in Australia on the 31st of December did not meet the top standard on the 1st of January. Same car, new rules. Toyota has been open with buyers about it. The company says upgrades to the active and passive safety systems will arrive in the second half of this year to secure 5 stars, and that none of the changes are structural. Toyota's next line should stop you. Those upgrades cannot be retrofitted to your car. Toyota has confirmed the changes will not necessarily be fitted to cars already delivered, which means, in their words, customers who take delivery in the first half of this year will own a vehicle that remains unrated for its entire life. Toyota's own numbers do the arithmetic for you. Toyota had over 10,000 orders before a single RAV4 was wholesaled, expects around 40,000 sales this year, and sold 24,034 in the same 6-month span last year. So if the update takes 6 months, more than 20,000 Australians could buy a car with no independent safety rating and no way to ever get one. ANCAP's chief executive addressed it directly, saying the updated model remains unrated until independent testing has been conducted, and encouraging consumers to consider the availability of an independent safety rating when buying. Meanwhile, the Hyundai Tucson, the Kia Sportage, and several direct rivals 50 meters away all hold current 5-star scores. Number 0. The other side of the argument on these cars. I have spent 20 minutes telling you your car lost its rating, so here are the arguments against everything I have just told you, and some of them are strong. First, none of these cars got worse. The Corolla in your driveway is exactly as safe today as it was in December. The expiry is an administrative event about the currency of a test, not the discovery of a defect. If this has made you feel unsafe in a car you have driven happily for 6 years, that is the wrong takeaway. Second, the 6-year rating expiry is good policy, and it works in your favor. It stops manufacturers coasting on a decade-old result. Look at how many models here have new versions arriving in 2026. Mazda 3, CX-30, Hyundai Venue, and the HiLux already done. Australians end up in safer cars because of it. Third, Toyota's position on the RAV4 is more reasonable than the headline makes it sound. The car was engineered to a standard that was current when it was designed, and a production delay is not a safety decision. Toyota's sales boss has called it the safest RAV4 ever built, and with autonomous emergency braking and intersection assist fitted, that claim is probably fair. The absence of a rating is not evidence of a bad car. It is the absence of evidence. Fourth, an unrated car is not an unsafe car, and your car is not suddenly dangerous. Every vehicle you can buy new in Australia must meet the Australian design rules, which are mandatory minimum safety standards enforced by law. ANCAP sits well above that legal minimum. Unrated means nobody has independently checked. It does not mean it failed. So what do you actually do about your own car? 5 things, and they all take less than a minute each. 1. Go to the ANCAP website, ancap.com.au, search your exact model, and look at 2 things before anything else: the year tested and whether it says valid or expired. The star count is the last thing you should read, not the first. 2. If your car is 6 years old or more, stop using ANCAP ratings and use the used car safety ratings instead. That is run by the Monash University Accident Research Centre and built from real-world Australian and New Zealand crash data rather than laboratory tests. So for an older car, it tells you what actually happened to people in real crashes here. 3. If you are buying a new car in the next 6 months, ask one question at the dealership. Is this exact car rated? And what year was it tested? Not, is it safe? They will say yes to that. Ask for the year. 4. If you are buying a used car, do the check before you agree a price, not after. An expired rating is a legitimate negotiating point in your favor, and most private sellers have no idea their listing badge is out of date. 5. If you are shopping for a young driver, this is the one place I would spend real money. The Monash research found the driver of the worst-rated vehicle is over 8 times more likely to be killed or seriously injured in the same crash than the driver of the safest. 8 times your risk. That is the whole argument for buying the newest, highest-rated car you can afford for somebody who has just got their license. The figures in this video split 3 ways, so here is what is confirmed about these cars and what is not. Confirmed by the sources. ANCAP ratings are valid for 6 years and then expire. A long list of models last tested in 2019 became unrated on the 1st of January 2026. ANCAP moved to the new stages of safety protocols this year. The sixth-generation Toyota RAV4 launched in Australia unrated. Toyota has confirmed safety upgrades for the second half of the year and has confirmed those upgrades will not necessarily be retrofitted to cars already delivered. ANCAP's chief executive has publicly confirmed the model remains unrated until tested. All of that is on the record and multiply sourced. Reported but not settled. The number of Australians who end up buying an unrated RAV4 depends on when the update lands, and Toyota has not given a firm date. The figure of more than 20,000 comes from applying last year's sales rate to a 6-month window. It is a reasonable estimate. It is not a fact. Still developing. The updated RAV4 has not been tested. The new Mazda 3, CX-30, and Hyundai Venue have not been rated under the new protocols. Every one of those results could change this list within a year. So there they are, 6 Australian cars that quietly lost their safety rating and the best-selling family car in the country that never had one to lose. Go and check your own car tonight. It takes 30 seconds, it is free, and the number you are looking for is not the stars. It is the year. Tell me in the comments what your car came up as, the model, the year tested, and whether it said valid or expired. Between all of us watching, we will have covered nearly every car on Australian roads, and that list will be more useful to the next person than anything a manufacturer puts in a brochure.